we're gonna start taking the rear suspension off. I think I will do the suspension first on the rear, and then we'll move over to the crash bar. So first off, front bolt, it's a 19 millimeter. Let me just zip this off real quick since I already have it. Just unloosen that bolt first, and then we're going to do the pinch bolt. It's a little bit easier with the wheel taken off, because then you got more access here, so that's kind of convenient. So unloosen the pinch bolt, and then we'll take out the rear bolt first. Let me just support that swing arm just in case it wants to come down. Bolt comes out there, pinch bolt's out. Now I can move over to the other side and take the 19 millimeter out. Sure this doesn't tip forward more, so I have the bike kind of off center on that stand. Didn't realize that. I'm just going to put a piece of block of wood up here so it doesn't go forward. That should be good. Alright, so I got the bracket out. It was actually just 3 bolts. Just slide it to the side here. And that gives you access to the suspension. And I'm going to have to pull this bolt off as well here. That's holding the adjuster. Just bear with me here. Didn't notice that. There we go. Set that aside. Let me just take a look and see. Yeah, we'll keep this bracket because that's going to tie in this whole system in here. Okay, so now we're going to install the GP suspension. It does come with zip ties on the spacers here. Okay, back, I just wanted to tape up this reservoir so it doesn't get scratches or anything when I'm passing the body through the swing arm there. And of course the misaligner spacers, you have to make sure they don't fall out. So this is going to pass through the swing arm in the back here, and then the hose is facing down, not up. So we'll get this in place here. And it is kind of a tight fit, so you just want to make sure that when you put this in, it goes in correctly, and that the misaligning spacers are set as well. Tight. Okay, let me I'm just going to tap it with the mallet real quick. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to put a little bit of blue Loctite on the threads here on the front bolt. So the front you always want to put in first, because then you can kind of articulate the rear bolt to make sure it goes in correctly. Just need to find my 19 mil. Rear bolt, I'll put a little bit Loctite on that as well. Just a little bit, because this already has a pinch bolt on it. So, no reason to overdo it. Okay, so that's good and set. Let me just see if I need to put this back in place here. Yeah, I'll put it back. It's the bracket for the old mount, reservoir mount. It probably doesn't need to be put on here. I'm actually going to remove, let me see. I'll leave it in here. That way everything's nice and tight in here. Okay, so bolts are in. We're going to torque the front to 80 foot-pounds and the rear, the front's 80-85 and the rear is 70-75. I do not like Torx bit bolts at all. They strip easy and you always have problems with them. I'm going to tighten down this pinch bolt. Okay, so the shocks installed, pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to do the crash bars because we have to mount the new bolts in. I got new bolts from Bamco, so those need to be mounted first. Let me do the shift side. And this is a Torx 45. Look how nice these are. Original Moto Garage. Man. All TIG welded instead of MIG. That was another selling point for me. I wanted to make sure that it's good quality welds. The front crash bar also is TIG welded. Basically this just sets in here. And then you have your standoffs that you can choose different colors. I went with gold, obviously. So let's mount this guy up. Alright, so I needed to opt out on doing the Bamco bolts because the flange is bigger than the recessed pocket on these crash bars. So I'm gonna have to talk to Bamco and see if he's got anything that will work, because these are just regular bolts that recess into the crash bar, unfortunately, which sucks, but it is what it is. Let me just check the torque spec on these guys. Okay, so it looks like these are 21 foot-pounds. Do the other side, and I think the bolt that was provided for GP via Bamco will work, because it's not actually recessed in here, so that's a plus. Okay, so let me grab Okay, looks like we're gonna have to do a little modification here on the exhaust bracket for this particular crash bar to fit. As you can see, it's hitting right here on the exhaust bracket, right? And I need to line that hole up with that. So I'm going to need to cut that off, which is fine because there's nothing attached to here. It's just a bracket supporting the rear bag, right? The rear bag clip goes in here, and then this is tied into the exhaust bracket. So I'm going to need to cut this off and put some paint on it so it doesn't rust, but I probably won't because the exhaust is going going with a different exhaust. So let's just do that real quick and I'll be right back. It wasn't looking too good. We're going to install the crash bar. Let's see. So since I'm running the crash bar with the GP reservoir, you do need a spacer in it. And as I mentioned, I did speak with GP and also Tucker on this, Tucker speed, so we should be good. Let's see, where's the other one? Okay, this is the bottom one. Man, that's the one thing not being organized, and you're always trying to find crap everywhere. Extensions, 10 millimeters. Man, I tell you, if it's not one thing, it's the other. There we go. Okay, now this is the reservoir mount. I'm going to have this spacer let's see if this will drop in here. Check something because okay, so apparently the spacer that it sent me is not going to work because, as you can tell, this is recessed and this should fit here, and they were supposed to send me a spacer washer to offset this, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen. So I need to figure something out before I mount this guy up. All right, so I was actually able to get the reservoir mounted up to the rear crash bars. I actually went down to a local machine shop, had the APR bolts machined down so they could fit within this. He only charged me 10 bucks for 3 bolts, so I said why not. But yeah, this is basically the final setup of the rear with the remote reservoir attached. I did have to make a spacer here because this crash bar is recessed. So there's a flush spacer in here. I wasn't able to get this machine down so it slides into that recessed location. Maybe at a later date I can find a machine shop that could do it. The shop that I went to doesn't have the right tools for that because I think it does require a CNC on it. Show you guys the left side of the bike. So yeah, same here. Got the bolts machined down. I still need to get a bolt here from Bamco, so I'll touch base with the boys over there, get some measurements, see if I can get a gold bolt. Yeah, I really like these crash bars. The fronts are installed as well. So they turned out really good. They can be used as a highway peg. You can purchase this extra grip tape on this, which I did, and on the rear as well. So yeah, overall the process of the rear suspension is pretty straightforward. And then I just zip tied the hose from the shock to the brace, just to kind of keep that out of the way. And this is how it looks like on the back end, no obstructions. As I mentioned, I did cut the bracket here for the bag. Remember, that was sticking out, so that's cut, painted that up. So that's sitting nice and flush. So yeah, give me some feedback on the rear. It's not as intense as the front, but pretty straightforward. I think overall is about 30-40 minutes. If you don't have the rear crash bars, actually they go in a lot easier because it's just one bolt for this instead of having to install the crash bars. So overall, yeah, pretty excited about it. That's how it sits in there. So yeah, hopefully I'll give you guys some feedback once I get the bike on the road and get some miles on it and see how the bike performs with the setup. I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. Woolings on my other bike, they do good, you know, a lot better than the stock. So I could only imagine that the GP is going to perform just as good or better. And I'll post some videos of the completed bike here shortly once it's all sitting on the ground. I do also have a bare knuckle extension for the kickstand, or jiffy stand, if you want to call that, because the bike is going to be leaning a lot further over on its side. So I think you could get by without it, but what I've read is it's recommended just because of the lean angle of 2-inch higher up front and 13.5 in the back is gonna, you know, sit off a little bit from standard height. So we'll get that installed, and then I'll get the front lines installed as well. I won't make another video on that, you know, just replace this with the Kraus kit. Pretty straightforward. New brake pads going on as well, since I'm swapping out the rotors. So yeah, we'll get this all buttoned up on the front end and the rear, and we should hopefully be on the ground here in the next couple days. So stand by for another couple videos. Let me know what you guys think. As always, please like and subscribe. And thank you for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.